What's good, y'all, and welcome to my review for Forbidden Door. Man, this was a fucking incredible show, man. Definitely, I would say this is the best show we've gotten from AEW this year. My hat almost falls off my desk. And yeah, man, this was just a fantastic night of wrestling. Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy, especially, that was easily the best match. That was easily the best match on the card tonight, and that was just a phenomenal match. But without further ado, guys, let's jump right in. So we started the show off with Chris with a six-man tag between Chris Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, I don't know how to spell his name, with Sammy G versus Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota Umio. If I'm saying his last name right. Actually, interesting thing about this match that I found kind of interesting is that they kind of tied this match in with some history from New Japan, which also I gotta say for the commentary this week, for this show, we had something kind of interesting where it started off with Taz and Excalibur with the main play-by-play commentator for the English New Japan commentary. So that was pretty cool to hear him along with those guys. The commentary was great through the entire night. I did find it kind of strange and weird that that both JR and Tony Schiavone weren't there, at least the start of the show, but as the show progressed on, both of them would eventually join the commentary. So I'm pretty sure by the end of the show we had like a 5 or 6 man commentary team or something like that, because JR would eventually join in the last couple of matches. I think Tony stuck around after the Sting match, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the commentary was great all around. Anyway, as I was saying, with Shota, we find out something interesting about him, and apparently, and I believe this was at the first Wrestle Kingdom. Chris Jericho was out, at least when he came back to New Japan back in 2016, 2017-ish. I want to say this was the match during when he had that match with Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. I want to say that was that Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know for sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that one. We find out that apparently this kid is actually the son of Red Shoes, and that at the Wrestle Kingdom show, he attacked Red Shoes, had attacked him back then. He was just like a young lion, so I'm assuming he was just training to become a pro wrestler at that time, and was obviously working on the behind the scenes, helping out the wrestlers and everything. At the show, and then eventually during the match, Chris Jones just randomly decides to put him in the walls of Jericho, and like they mentioned how he hasn't forgot about that, and obviously there's some beef already between those two right before the match goes in, which I thought was pretty cool. They mentioned that and acknowledged that that's something that happened back in New Japan that's kind of relevant here, so I thought that was pretty cool. Eddie Kingston got like a huge pop tonight, man. Like, seriously, this man might have been the most overman the entire building, man. Seriously, he got a huge reaction outside of probably Cesar when he made his return, but we'll talk about him later. Anyway, the match itself was fantastic, man. I loved it. We started off with Chris going up against Yuta. They were going out for a while, and then of course Sammy gets tagged in before eventually Eddie gets tagged in, and look, Eddie, he's ready to go and face off Chris Jericho. He does the whole thing where he drags his foot in like a straight line, be like, "Yeah, come over here, bitch." Because also with this match, this was also to determine who would get the advantage in War Game, or excuse me, Blood and Guts. But it's basically the same thing as War Games. They're both one and the same. Anyway, that's what was going to happen with that, and that's kind of what this match was determining. Anyway, did that. Chris was like, "Nah, fuck that shit," and tags in Minoru Suzuki. And of course, I popped big for this one. I was like, hell yeah, Minoru Suzuki, Eddie Kingston, let's go. So they were going at it. The match goes into complete utter chaos as the match progresses on. You eventually later on had Sammy G doing a beautiful shooting star press off the top rope, leading to Yuta doing like a flip over the top rope, and then Eddie Kingston doing a suicide dive of his own. Then Minoru Suzuki got into the ring, and he was like, looked like he was about to gonna do a suicide dive too, but he was like, "Nah, fuck that shit." And he was like, "Nah, man, you ain't getting," which I thought was pretty funny. But obviously, I got a lot of breeze. As the match continued on, Chris tried to go in for the Lions, but Eddie stopped him. You also had Shota actually lock Chris Jericho in the walls of Jericho, so a nice little bit of revenge from their match, or from their last encounter, I should say, at Wrestle Kingdom. I thought that was pretty cool, especially after they gave the context of what happened there at the beginning of the match. Eventually, Shota was getting really crazy. He was going at it, man. But eventually, Ty Conti would hit him with the baseball bat while the ref was distracted. which I thought that was going to be the end of the match. And then Chris goes for the Judas effect, but he ends up missing. He goes absolutely insane by this point. He's attacking everybody. Everybody's going down, but eventually Chris manages to get in the Judas effect for the 1, 2, 3. And of course, Chris Jericho's team is going to have the advantage at Blood and Guts, which is going to be happening this weekend Wednesday. So I'm definitely hyped to see that match on Dynamite this week. That is going to be awesome. But yeah, this was a fantastic match, a great way to start the show, and it was just a blast from start to finish, man. So next up was the IWGP Tag Team Title match between FTR, the Great Khan, and Jeff Cobb versus Roppongi Vice. This was another fantastic match. FTR would end up retaining the championship, and this one was really good, man. Seriously, FTR, great tag team, man. Very much I agree with JD where WWE just didn't know what they had with them and just constantly just keep trying to stifle them. And look at them now. Now they're flourishing. I'm sure WWE's kicking themselves. Or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe they're like, oh, fuck them. But whatever the case may be, man, this match is fantastic. So, oh, Jesus. Excuse me. Anyway. So, you start the match, so the match starts off, I believe Dax started the match up against like the Great O'Connor or something. The match progresses on, eventually we get this double team between Cash and Dax, where Cash does like this like running elbow thing on the ground, and it seemed like he kind of like maybe like popped his shoulder out or like dislocated it a little bit, because afterwards he was kind of like grabbing at it, he couldn't really move, he instantly like tags it, and he tags out, Dax, Dax is looking at him, and he's good, he's checked with the doctors, and eventually we see him later on leave the ring and go into the back. Don't know if there was a legit injury that happened or this was all storyline. I have a feeling that the man probably did kind of like injure himself a little, because I don't know why they would go this far for a storyline, but maybe it was all legit, but I kind of have a feeling that maybe it was a storyline. But I have a feeling that he probably did get himself legitimately hurt, but it wasn't anything too serious. They just had to tape him up, and all was good. Anyway, because of this, Dax did his best that he could do. He was going after everybody, hitting suplexes and shit, taking motherfuckers suplex, man. He was doing the best he can. Eventually, he does have to tag out, and he more or less was gone for a good chunk of the match, as the Great O'Connor went up against the other guy for Roppongi Vice, one that is in Trent Beretta. I'm slipping on his name, forgive me, but they go at the dude even did like this. I believe it was in this match where he was like, I believe it was him that did like these, what they were called like unlimited clotheslines, where someone was in one of the corners, and the dude would just keep running back and forth between like hitting a clothesline, running back at him, hitting a clothesline again and again and again and again, over and over and over for a while. But anyway, Rocky Romero, that was his name, Rocky. But anyway, so they keep going. Eventually, Cash ends up like marching towards the ring with his shoulder all taped up. He's marching toward the ring. He gets tagged in, man, and the man just starts going ham on motherfuckers. He does this thing, man. The match then they're just going at it. The match continues on, and eventually FTR hit their finisher for the 1, 2, 3. This was another fantastic match, man, and really great. But then the show really kicks into high gear with the next match for a new championship that they have in store for that they create for AEW, called the AEW All Atlantic Championship. I'm assuming this is like a European title for AEW. So I don't know. I guess you can consider this like a second mid-card title for the men, or maybe this actually is the mid-card title. Yeah, no. They got the TNT championship. I almost forgot that championship was there, but I guess this is like a second mid-card championship along with the TNT championship. I don't know. I kind of view it more as I guess AEW's European Championship. But this match was fantastic. It was a fatal four between Pac, Malachi Black, Miro, and Clark Connors. And I feel like Clark Connors was just added in this match just to be a war body, because, man, this man was getting fucking abused throughout this entire match, man. I don't know how he got into the match. Like I said, I've been kind of in slack on Dynamite recently because of school and everything. So there was something I missed. But obviously now that I'm done with school and I got through all my summer classes, I can finally, watch Dynamite, and actually enjoy it, and have I gotta do homework, I gotta do this, and all that shit, and actually sit down and actually enjoy it a little bit. But anyway, I was kind of wondering why is it, because the dude just got bodied and buried and tossed around throughout the entire match, man. He was getting abused by Miro a lot, especially, and Malachi Black was beating on him too. But he did have this one major moment that we'll talk about a little later in the match progresses, but yeah. The match starts up. Everyone makes their entrances. Miro, which is actually a funny story. I tweeted. I definitely tweeted about this. I don't know if I mentioned this in any of my AEW videos that I did for the last pay-per-view. But funny story enough, a while ago, I was just kind of like chilling one day, and I think this was before Dynamite even started airing that week, and I was like, wait a minute, where's Miro? He hasn't been on Dynamite. And I just realized that Miro had been gone from Dynamite for like months. I forget how long he's been gone. I think it might have been 6 months. Might have been a little longer. Might have been a little shorter. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I was just kind of like, but then just one day I just realized, oh yeah, he's been gone for a really long time. I was wondering, like, hey, is he injured or something? Did he get released or something? And then I looked at it, it looks like he was injured, but he wasn't anymore. The AEW just didn't know what they had for creative. And literally, the very next Dynamite that happened, bam, Miro makes his return. So I thought, which I think that's also a testament to just how good, how deep the rosters for AEW were. Like, someone as big as Miro, even though I'm not really a big Miro guy myself, I never was even that big on Rusev. With a Rusev there, that just wasn't my thing, man. I think Rusev and Miro is just, fine, I'm not really in it. But I think it just, but as I was saying anyway, to get back on topic, that I feel like that's very telling of how deep AEW's roster. Where it's someone that has a lot of notoriety behind, like Miro, he can be gone for like 6 months and you don't even notice it. You know, I feel it's a testament to how deep their roster and how good and how well booked their shows are compared to WWE, where we're missing Cody Rhodes, Roman's like now gone part-time, man. Randy Orton is out for the rest of the year, I guess, with a back injury. I guess that is legit from what's been going on Raw. I think there's a couple other guys that I'm forgetting about, but yeah, definitely not the same thing here. But anyway, man, the match goes on. They're going, Miro and Malachi were going out a lot. Like, they would like kind of like try to work together, but like they would each keep imposing on each other when they're trying to beat someone down. Like, and like this is what I talk about with Clark, because they would try to beat him down first. They would beat him on the ground, then they would both kind of like grab an arm and they would try to take him in different directions. And then like, hey, he's taking him one way, the other wants to take him the other way, and then eventually they were just going at it. Malachi Black and Miro were just going at it constantly. As the match progresses on, eventually a table did get in the ring. I believe it was Pac that brought in the table. He set it up. He had everyone move up here. And actually, funny enough, there was a kid in the front row, and I forget. I think it might have been the New Japan guy. It might have been Excalibur telling the kid, or it might have been Pac himself. I forget exactly how this went down, but like telling the kid to move out of the way. So he got the table set up. He grabs Malachi Black, tries to force him and tries to throw him in the table, but Malachi manages to counter him. But then out of nowhere, Clark comes in there and just like spears Malachi Black through the table, man. He's all hyped up, topped up on testosterone, losing his damn mind, screaming his head off, and he's like throwing people back in the ring, hitting all these moves, man. He goes for the pin. 1, 2, near fall. I believe it was on Malachi. He eventually just throws him out of the ring. He then tries to do like a move with Pac, but Pac manages to counter it. Hits him with a super kick. Goes for the Black Arrow, but I believe it was Malachi ends up stopping him. Everybody starts like trying to suplex her. Then Miro comes in there, does the whole Tower of Doom thing, which I'm always a fan of. And then Miro locks in the Colossus on Pac. And this part I thought was really cool. So as he's locking in the Colossus, Pac is like struggling to get to the ropes, but then he just barely gets to the ropes for like maybe like half a second before Miro, it just instantly like pushes him right back into the middle of the ring, which I thought was really cool, because you never really see it, because usually when they get to the ropes, that's when they actually get a break almost instantly. I don't, at least in recent memory, I can't really think of a time where like they like maybe touched the rope for like half a second, but they didn't get enough grip on for the ref to stop them, so they managed to get them pushed back and keep the hold locked in. I thought that was kind of cool, man. I thought it was cool. But anyway, Malachi comes Black in there, shoots the Black Mass onto Miro, hits him with the Black Mass for his troubles. Then Clark comes right back in there. Then Malachi actually goes for a cross arm breaker while Pac is going up to the top rope. He hits the Black Arrow. He doesn't go for the pin. Instead, he instantly goes for the Brutalizer on Clark and he almost instantly taps out, which is probably the reason why he was in this match, so he could take the he could take the pinfall, because obviously, you know, Malachi Black and Miro are all high profile names. They don't want them to look, you know, they want them to look bad and, you know, in defeat or whatever, you know, in the booking. So that was probably why he was there, since he could probably take the fall and it wouldn't affect anything. But either way, man, and Pac actually like leaves it in there for a little while as he's screaming his head off after the, like, even while the bell is ringing, man. And he is the new AEW what the fuck was it? All Atlantic champion. Love this match. This was honest. This was probably my top 3, if not top 3, my top 5 favorite matches of the night, man. This match was fucking awesome, man. I had so much fun watching it, and I was engrossed from it from start to finish, man. Such an amazing match, man. Such an amazing match. So next up was another trios match. This time we had a bit of a Bullet Club reunion with the Young Bucks, who actually, this I thought was pretty cool. The Young Bucks were actually wearing their Bullet Club pants again, which I thought was pretty cool, because you could actually, because I actually instantly noticed, because I saw the Bullet Club logo in there. They had like the bandana on there. I was like, okay, oh, they're wearing their Bullet Club pants again. That was pretty cool. It was cool to see another Bullet Club reunion. After we recently got another Bullet Club reunion in WWE with Hell in a Cell. So that was pretty cool, man, with that AJ Styles and Finn Balor. That was pretty cool that we got a little bit of a Bullet Club reunion with this one, man. But that was pretty cool. So they had the Young Bucks with El Phantasmo, I believe, along with Dudes with Attitude, which was Darby Allin, Sting, and Shingo Takagi, if I'm saying his name right. And this match was awesome. First off, so everyone made their entrances, or both Shingo and Darby made their entrances, and of course Sting's music hits. We expect to see Sting doesn't make an appearance. I'm at this point, I'm thinking, okay, maybe there was a backstage attack thing, but like there wasn't. They didn't cut to the cameras. They instantly just cut right to the Bucks' music, man. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then I expected that they were just gonna throw Sting out of like the heels tunnel and be like, oh look, we beat him up or whatever. Nah, they make their entrances, not like everything's hunky dory. So, but anyway, once they make it up to once they get to like around where the ramp is, the lights go out. Once they turn back on, well, first off, they were like the camera was pointing towards the ceiling. I'm thinking Sting's about to descend from the ceiling like it's fucking 1995 on Nitro or something. But no, instead, this motherfucker is on top of the fucking tunnel and then fucking cross bodies everybody to the floor like he is prime Jeff Hardy. A 50-plus-year-old Sting is out here jumping from tunnels like he's prime Jeff Hardy, man. It's fucking insane, man. And the match itself was even great. It was crazier as it continues on. Where you had El Phantasmo try to do, I don't know what the fuck this move, the nipple twister, I don't know what the fuck it's called, on Sting, and Sting just looks at him like, what the fuck are you on about? And then he just like takes him out, but then later on in the match, Sting does it to him, and he's like, ah! Which was pretty funny. There was like a double scorpion death driver that Sting does. Anyway, Shingo would hit like this, would look to be like a one-winged angel type maneuver to eventually get the 1, 2, 3. This was another fantastic match, man. This one was just absolute insanity. So many amazing and crazy spots. Like what we saw with the nipple twister thing, and of course with Sting jumping off the tunnel like he's prime Jeff Hardy. This match was a lot of fun. But this was another one of the matches that would definitely be one of my personal favorites of the night. I had so much fun with this match. Also, I almost forgot to mention this. Right before, I believe it was before this match went on, it might have been during the second match, we got like this little like behind, they did this backstage thing with 2 members of Bullet Club, where it was with Jay White and Juice Robinson, which I was surprised to find out that he is now part of the Bullet Club. I don't know when this happened. Like you guys know, I don't really keep up with New Japan as much as I would like to, so I have no idea when this happened. Was this at Dominion or something? Like, when did Juice Robinson turn to the dark side, man, and join Bullet Club? So I was pretty surprised. And they mentioned that, like, number 1 contenders match for the U.S. title was with Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. So anyway, after we had this match, we had another backstage segment. This time with Shota. This time where Tony Schiavone's there. He's checking up on him as the doctor's doing his thing. Chris comes in there. He's like, and like with Everrise, and they're like, oh, congrats, like, oh yeah, you've earned our respect, man. Yeah, great match, you've earned respect. And then all of a sudden, Chris hits him with a fireball because he's a wizard. He didn't say anything about wizards this time, but I'm pretty sure I tweeted about that, or at least screamed that when I saw that, because he's a wizard. This fucking wizard gimmick is fucking hilarious, man. That Chris has been going with, man. I fucking love it, man. Anyway, we then had the women's championship match um, between Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm gonna get crucified, if I'm gonna get canceled for this, but this was probably my least favorite match of the card. Not that it was bad or anything, man. It was still a great match in its own right, but compared to the rest of the show, it did not really knock my socks off. But it was still a great match. First off, I gotta praise Thunder Rosa's outfit. I loved her outfit for this match, man. I'm assuming this is once again more Mexican, like Aztec, Inca type inspired attire, man. I'm not a history buff, and I know jack shit about Mexico. My mom's from El Salvador, but yeah, I loved her outfit, man. I thought it looked really cool. I loved the headdress and everything, man. Looked really fucking cool, man. Also loved her face paint that she was rocking with the skull and everything. Looked amazing, man. So you would have Thunder Rosa hitting like a German suplex on the apron, which I'm sure sucked, because as we all know, the apron is the hardest part of the ring. Eventually, they would get back in the ring. Tony would hit the hip attack on Thunder Rosa when she was out in the corner, and then eventually Thunder Rosa would hit I believe it's called the Thunder Driver, and which ends up getting a near fall. And Thunder Rosa's expression when Tony kicks out, man, is fucking priceless. I'm sure it will get memed to shit, man. Seriously, her reaction there, man, was fucking priceless, man. Anyway, we would end the match off with Thunder Rosa hitting Dustin's Crossroads to win the match. Like I said, solid match. I had a lot of fun enjoying this, but compared to the rest of the show, I felt this was just the weakest match on the card. That's just me anyway. Anyway, next up was my favorite match of the night, Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay. Oh my god, this match was fucking incredible. This is probably my favorite match of the year so far. If not this, it's a toss-up between this and the Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes Hell in a Cell match, man. This match was so fucking good. Now, if you guys watch my New Japan, if you guys have seen my recent Wrestle Kingdom videos that I did on the show for the last couple of years, you guys know that Will Ospreay, along with Kota Ibushi, are my top two favorite wrestlers in New Japan currently. I fucking love those two. Okada's obviously up there as well. I love Okada as well. But Will Ospreay and Kota Ibushi, those are my guys. So obviously when I found out he was going to be in Forbidden Door, I was hyped. I was hoping that he would have been the one facing Punk or Daniel Bryan, but obviously they had different stories, and of course both of them are fucking injured now, so it would have happened regardless. But I was hyped to see Will Ospreay on the show regardless, because I fucking love Will Ospreay, and he's been killing it with the heel gimmick, man. Seriously. So I was hyped for this match, and this match did not disappoint, man. I'm not gonna be able to do this match justice. I'm not even gonna fucking try, but I'm gonna just give you guys some of my favorite spots, because there was a lot to go through in this match, man. There was so much near falls that legit had me shot when it was just a near fall, man. Oh, this match was incredible, man. So we started the match off obviously with Orange doing his usual thing, with like the pockets thing, where. This one was pretty funny, where Will Ospreay does like his whole thing, and he does like his pose, and then then Orange just falls to the ground, and just copies his pose, but just gives him a thumbs up. That one was fucking awesome, man. They go at it, man. And then you had Orange going where Will Ospreay was out on the outside, and Orange looked like he was going to go for a suicide dive, but he ends up not doing it. But instead of doing that whole thing Will does, where he bounces off the rope, jumps in the air, then does the pose, all he does is kind of just roll backwards, and does the pose. Oh my god, there were so many other great, amazing matches, so many like ridiculous finishers that got countered. Like you got when Orange wouldn't go for does that like spinning DDT move he does, but Will Ospreay manages to catch him, but then Orange counters that into a fucking stunner. Like, bro, there were so many moments like that where I was just like losing my goddamn mind, and Sweet Jesus, Will Ospreay just sells the shit out of this move, man. Seriously. And then of course you had like probably the biggest part of the matches where I believe it was Will Ospreay legit I think it might have been Orange actually. Orange just throws Will Ospreay's head right into the camera, right into one of the cameras that's like right on top of the poles by the turnbuckles, and it completely just like disconnects it there. There were so many other crazy moments like that, man. Where like, oh yeah, there was also this one part where where Orange does like a DDT off the top rope, man, near fall. Oh my goodness, man, seriously. Oh, and then of course you had Will Ospreay's guys trying to get in for the match. Then Orange took care of them by leaping off the second rope and doing a flip in midair before landing on top of them, man. Ay, ay, ay. Will Ospreay, man, seriously. Will Ospreay, man, this man is, my God, this man is so good, man. Seriously, he's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers currently going at, man. This man just proves how good he is. It also shows up how great Orange Cassidy's the ring when he wants to be, when he wants to go full on, doesn't, and kind of like gets rid of like the whole like thing and actually like wrestles, man. Bro, he can like both these men can fucking go, man. Especially Will Ospreay, man. And then of course you actually had Will also doing like those like kick things he does when they're like on the opponents on the ground. But then Orange starts doing it. Well, of course, he puts like no effort behind them until Will gets up there, and I think he like punches him or slaps him or something, and then that sets Orange off, and then he starts actually kicking him, man. Oh, there was oh my God, man, so many amazing spots in this match. Oh, but one of the ones I thought was one of the most clever ones, and I almost forgot to mention this, but good thing I found, but the good thing I remembered was when Will is I think this was like right after he throws him into the camera. I also love that when Orange throws Will into the camera, they actually do switch that camera angle right before he slams it in there. So shout out to production team, man, to time that perfectly and get that just right, man, because that was pretty cool. But so anyway, as Will is kind of like just laying on top of the turnbuckle, Orange does something pretty creative. So you guys know that Eddie Guerrero used to always do that thing where he bring a chair in there, hit it against the floor, throws it to his opponent, and then falls to the ground, and then waits for the ref to get back up, sees that this happens, and then he thinks then the ref thinks that he hit him with the chair, and obviously gets the disqualified and the easy victory. Well, Orange did something similar, but kind of in a clever way, where instead he just gets down to the ground, hits the mat to make it seem to Will that Orange is hurt or they fell down there, only so that Will would do. Then Will does like a moonsault off the second rope, but then Orange moves out of the way. But then Will, I guess, fucking does like this has the fucking Sharingan or something, and then predicts that he's moving back, does a moonsault in midair, and then he managed to get that one, then runs up the top rope back up again, hits another moonsault, but Orange gets the knees up, man. I lost my fucking mind at this exchange, man. This match was fucking incredible, man. Oh my goodness, man. There were so many batshit insane moments, man. Especially around this part of the match when they're just firing up an old suds. Like I said, man, Orange can work his kid is one hell of a rush. Oh yeah, and then there's also when Orange rushes into him and Will counters into an RKO from out of nowhere, man. That obviously got a huge pop out of me, man. Will Ospreay's expression at one of these near falls, man. Oh my goodness. And then, of course, they got the Hidden Blade counters, man. But eventually, Will Ospreay would win the match with the Hidden Blade. Oh, my God. I love Will Ospreay, man. I kind of wish he would sign with AEW. Just so I get to see more of him more often, man. Because like I said, I don't watch New Japan that much. I would like to get more invested in New Japan, but there's just too many shows for me to keep up with it. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before in either previous New Japan videos or an AEW videos or whatever. I wish New Japan had a weekly show like Raw and SmackDown that they would just have where all the storylines would like do their thing and then leave, and then at the big pay-per-views, Wrestle Kingdom, the G1, Dominion, if there's another one in there where they do all the big pay-per-view shit like WWE and AEW. If they did that, man, I'd be watching New Japan all the time. Just like I am with AEW, and I'd be keeping up with it, but they don't. All it is just all these like mini shows, and of course you got Wrestle Kingdom, Dominion, the G1. Too much for me to keep up with, man. Too much for me to keep up with. But yeah, man. Anyway, this match was fucking incredible. And like I said, this was my favorite match of the night and without doubt one of my favorite matches of the year. Anyway, after the match, Will's goons and him start to attack Orange Cassidy. But then, of course, Trent Beretta, or I believe it was Trent, whatever the one was with Rocky. I forget the names of the best friends. Excuse me. They keep going at it, and then actually there was this one interesting thing where this guy named Katsuyori Shitana, if I'm saying his name correctly, came up there. I have no idea who this guy is. Like I said, guys, I don't watch New Japan like that, and I guess they've been beefing, or like there's been a feud between those two for a while now during New Japan program. Although one thing I found kind of funny was this was from the New Japan commentator. He mentioned that there apparently to like his left there's a fan in the crowd that told his sign, if I hear Katsuyori's music, I'm going to cry. And he says, give this man a Kleenex. But for some reason, the cameraman they never cut to this fan, so we know if he's actually crying or not. Why? The dude even directly mentions it on commentary. Why don't you cut to this? I want to see this man crying. To see if he actually is crying or not, man. Because like it'd be one thing if they did not, if the New Japan card didn't point out the fan with the sign, but because he did, like why didn't y'all cut to them? If I was there, I would have had one of the cameramen rushing over to there to get the angle for it so I can cut to it. But anyway, man, that's just me. I found that kind of funny, and I kind of wish they did actually show that fan that was holding that sign just to know if he was actually crying or not. But anyway, he comes in there. They have their own back and forth, man. And then they have like this, and then he has like this funny exchange with Orange where he wears his sunglasses and everything, man. That was pretty funny, man. That was pretty cool. And then, of course, we get to the next match between Zack Sabre Jr. and the mystery opponent that D. Bryan picked out, which a lot of people were predicting that would be Cesaro, which ended up being Cesaro. And we find out what his new name is going to be going under is, and I already know I'm not going to, it's like Claudio Casagoni. I already know I'm butchering that. I know I'm not going to remember the name, so I'm going to just keep calling him Cesaro. Because it's easier to remember for me. I'm used to calling that. Like, so yeah, I'll probably be like that one guy that still calls Cesaro, because I know I'm not going to remember this name. or definitely not remember how to pronounce it. But anyway, this match was incredible. This match started off fast furious. I thought this was going to be a straight squash match because after Cesaro makes the entrance, which I gotta say, not too big on his entrance music, not really big on it. I kind of preferred his WWE music, but that's just me. Anyway, he comes in there once they both make once the bell starts, this man rushes towards him, hits someone like that running, with that running uppercut he always does, and then instantly goes into the neutralizer. And I'm like, yo, is this match gonna be over already? 1, 2, kick out from Zack Sabre Jr., man. And then we're off to the races, man. This match is incredible, man. Once again, I gotta give major props to Zack Sabre Jr. I've mentioned this before in my New Japan videos, but this man is a technical wizard. I mean, like the submissions this man has been able to get his opponents into and counter them into, man, it's just fucking insane, man. Seriously, this man is a wizard when it comes to submission, man. Seriously. So as the match progresses on, Zack Sabre Jr. actually starts mocking Cesaro, doing that arm thing that Cesaro would always do, and that was pretty funny. But as the match progresses on, they eventually get to the outside, where this is fucking absurd from Cesaro. Where they're both out on the outside. By this point, Zack Sabre Jr. has tried to lock in Hell's Gates a couple times. So they're outside. Zack has Hell's Gates locked in Cesaro, but Cesaro legit just lifts this man up, and I thought he was just gonna toss him, but no, this man lifts him up and carries him all the way up the goddamn set, then yeets him over the top rope before re-entering the ring, man. At this point, Cesaro is just showing off, like, bro, we know you're strong, come on now. that was fucking absurd, man. So then you actually had Cesaro go for the Cesaro swing, but Zack Sabre Jr. counters it into a guillotine, which looked really fucking cool. And then eventually later on in the match, you had Zack Sabre Jr. lock him in like a figure 4 or like a leg lock type submission maneuver, and then Cesaro is using like his legs to also kick at him to try and try and break the hold. But eventually Zack Sabre Jr. grabs his leg and then twists it around to add to the pressure of the submission and everything. I'm like, bro, this man is a fucking wizard. How all the ways he created he counters moves into different submissions and shit and adds to submissions. It's fucking insane, man. Seriously. Like I said before, Zack Sabre Jr. is a fucking wizard. Obviously, Cesaro would go for the swing, and the first time it didn't really work. The second time you can only do it I think it was like 8 or 9 times, and like because if his shoulder was bothering him. And I thought this was pretty funny. Or after he wasn't able to get more than like 8 or whatever 8 spins, he legit puts his hands together like the prayer thing and be like he's like apologizing to the crowd that he couldn't do it for longer, which I thought was pretty funny. But anyway, the match progresses on, and eventually Cesaro would win the match. And once again, another fantastic match between these two men, and just this match is incredible. And now that Cesaro is now in AEW, this is gonna be interesting what's gonna be happening with him, because you guys know, if you guys have paid attention to wrestling Twitter or whatever, everybody swears up and down how Cesaro is super underrated and how he's underutilized by WWE and all that shit. So because of that, I'm curious to know how long it's gonna take them for AEW to put a championship around this guy's waist. Is he gonna get that, new All Atlantic championship? Is he gonna get TNT championship? Or hell, is he gonna go all the way up and get the AEW championship? It's gonna be interesting to see how quickly that takes for him to get some gold around his waist, because I'm sure it won't be long. But yeah, Cesaro was the match man, and this was once again another fantastic match. And of course, next up was a fatal 4-way match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship between Okada, Jay White, Adam Page, and Adam Cole, baby. So after everyone makes their entrances, one thing I thought was kind of interesting. This was once again from the New Japan commentator. He mentioned that apparently that this is that this is actually the first time the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship has actually been defended in a fatal 4-way match. It has, or I think it might have just been a multi-man match in general, not even triple threats match. And one thing I also found kind of interesting that he also mentioned on commentary after he mentioned that was that apparently this title belt almost never gets that's very rare for this title to be defended in multi-man matches. It's usually always one-on-one. They don't really apparently ever do triple threat matches or fatal 4-way matches that often when it's for this championship, which I thought was very interesting, and I thought that was kind of interesting that New Japan just hasn't done that at all. Especially compared to WWE, where they like to do their fatal 4-ways and their 5-ways and their triple threats and multi-man matches all the fucking time, especially for the women's division. Anyway, right before the match actually started, they actually had both the. This has been a theme throughout the entire show, but this really really felt special. Where you had both Justin Robertson doing the announcing, being like, and from first, Adam Cole or whatever. You have him, but then you also have the New Japan announcer doing the whole thing as well. And then for this match, they would after everyone got there, Justin Robertson would do it. Then the New Japan guy would do it for each of the 4 wrestlers. And I thought they just really added to the match. I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, we start the match off. Of course, instantly the 2 Bullet Club guys, Jay White and Adam Cole, instantly get outside the ring and let Okada and Adam Page go at it for a while. So they go at it, but then eventually they come in there and grab at each other, take them out of the ring, starts beating each other up. Adam Page looked like he was going to hit Adam Cole with a power bomb on top of by the ramp, but eventually Jay White managed to stop it. They both do a double team suplex on top of the ramp on Adam Page, and then as the match progresses on, they've got a lot of crazy other spots where you had Adam Cole straight up where Adam Cole hit a Superman kick on Adam Page while he was doing a moonsault, like he's going in like he's fucking Shawn Michaels. That was pretty hype, man. That one was pretty cool. You had some. It looks like there might have been something brewing between the 2 Bullet Club guys with Adam Cole and Jay White. And around the end of the match, Jay White would put the 2 sweet things oh, come on, and then Adam Cole would do, and then Jay was yeah, okay, let's go. And then Adam Cole would hit him with a backbreaker from behind, man. That was pretty cool, obviously signifying his betrayal. That one was pretty cool, man. Of course, you had Okada doing the whole thing where he throws both. I believe it was both Adam Cole and Jay White, both of them over the barricade, and he does that running crossbody. He does over the barricade. He did that. Then you also hit him doing this arm thing on the camera. Does that massive zoom out. That one was pretty cool to see. That one in AEW. He was like, yeah, we got the zoom up. Although I don't think Okada ever managed to hit the Rainmaker this entire match. I could be wrong on the correct if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did. Anyway, you also then Adam Cole had going crazy where like you had like him had the last shot. Adam Cole where Okada did like a suplex and then Jay White did like this other move, man. Everyone gets on the ground, everyone starts cheering that one. That spot was pretty crazy. Then you also another one where it was Okada and Adam Cole and Adam Page going at it, where Adam Cole gets in there and he like super kicks everybody, man. Super kicks Adam Page was about to go for the buckshot lariat. That one was pretty insane, man. And yeah, so eventually we would end the match out with Jay White going for the Blade Runner, and I believe it was Okada, but he got Okada out of the ring and goes from Adam Cole to get the pin. Now, the interesting thing about this one is just this whole ending kind of felt a bit anticlimactic, and like commentators said, like, oh, they stole it, he stole it, it came off anticlimactic. And JD felt the same way, and he also mentioned an interesting point where it looked like Adam Cole might have been a little bit injured from this match, and they had to call an audible, so that's why the match ended like that. I wouldn't be surprised because it did feel kind of anticlimactic from how big the match was to kind of end this way. So I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Cole got a little injured during the match somewhere, man. That would not surprise me. And then, of course, we had the main event, which I was kind of wondering, like, yo, wait, did the John Moxley match get canceled or something? Because I felt like that would have been the main event, and I thought there would have been like a little bit of like some another match in between these two. But no, they just went from this match right to the main event between John Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi. This match was also fucking fantastic. I love this match. As the match progresses onward, John would end up getting bloodied, and this man would bleed, would start bleeding like crazy. I don't know what it was from, but he started bleeding, man. So early on, they're both on the outside, and then John like grabs him and like literally throws him through a table that was out there on the outside. And then it was a little bit after, and then after this, John obviously gets back in the ring, and then Hiroshi Tanahashi like slowly is trying to get back to the ring, and at the very last second, he was like the ref was like at 9 by this point for a count out, and then like at the last second, he managed to get back in there right before the 10 got right before there was a count out. John is of course losing his damn mind, like shocked and everything. It was after this point, a little later on to the match, that's when John started to bleed. And then, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, this man was, around the end of the match, this man was bleeding like a motherfucker, man. Like, I wouldn't go as far as say he was bleeding like Prime Ric Flair, which also you guys may know that apparently Ric Flair is going to be wrestling again. The man's like 80 or something, man. He's going to do one more match, and apparently he's going to blade too. And I'm like, bro, your heart. You are old, why are you in the ring? But whatever. I don't know what the hell is wrong with Ric Flair, man. Unless he has discovered the fountain of youth again. That's gonna be something. Anyway, man. After they get back into the outside, John hits him, locks him into like the submission hold, and he starts hitting him with like these series of elbow strikes constantly, man. And then like this, and the ref was, and not the refs, it was the comment. I believe it was the New Japan guy, might have been JR. But it's like, oh, they might call him, or it might have been Excalibur anyway. Now I think about it, they were like, oh, maybe it's time for a referee stoppage at this point. But the match continues onward. Hiroshi hits a signature and finishers off the top rope, gets a near fall. John eventually hits him with like this devastating clothesline. Hiromu only kicks out at 1. Only gets a 1 count for that one. That one got a huge pop from the crowd, including me, man. I was shocked by that one. Anyway, he eventually locks him into like into that submission again, and starts hitting him with like those elbow strikes again. And this time, Hiromu actually looks like he's passed out. Looks like he's kind of out, like they're going to be calling a referee stop any second. And then he transitions that into a sleeper hold, gets him down to the ground. And like I'm just expecting the ref to call a stop at this point. I'm expecting this match to end via stoppage, but it doesn't. The crowd starts chanting, "Go Ace! Go Ace!" And that eventually manages to like will Tanahashi to get back on his feet, but then before he hits him with like a death driver, I believe it was called something, to eventually get the 1, 2, 3, and John Moxley is now your new interim AEW champion. So Punk gets his injury all healed up and everything, and we get that that obligatory unification match like at SummerSlam 2011 between John and CM Punk. Man, that's something. It seems like we're getting a lot of the Summer of Punk. It's almost repeating itself here in AEW like it did WWE, which is interesting. But yeah, man, this was a phenomenal show, man. So many incredible matches. Eventually, we end the match up with the Jericho Appreciation Society jumping John Moxley, and everyone starts going down at him. Then, of course, Cesaro and the others start to help him out, man. And then you have Eddie like arguing with Cesaro. It looked like. Don't know what that was about. But yeah, as we know, Chris is going to be having the advantage in War Games, and I'm hyped to see where that match goes, man. It's going to be fun, especially with Cesaro in the mix. It's going to be fun, man. I can't wait to see that match, man. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, guys, let's end this video off. Overall, my final verdict for Forbidden Door. I do hope this becomes an annual thing and we get more shows and we get the show every year. Hopefully next year, maybe once Johnny Gargano's made his AEW debut, you know, maybe we can get him and Cody Bushi at it, or Okada, or better yet, Will Ospreay. You know, that'd be something. That'd be something, or like Daniel Bryan against any of those guys. That would be so fucking cool if we got that, man. And next year's Forbidden Door, but we'll have to wait to see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, guys, let's going to end this video off. Overall, my final verdict for this show is going to be a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. As always, man. Anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.